Over the past few months, states have enacted laws to make it significantly harder for voters of color to cast a ballot. Laws that make it more difficult to vote by mail, cut hours when polls are open, and make it easier for states to purge voter rolls. These laws have gone as far as making it illegal to provide food and water for people standing in hour-long lines. As of April 2021, 47 states had introduced over 350 bills aimed to restrict voting in communities of color. The Supreme Court recently upheld 2 anti-voting laws in Arizona. The decision will limit the collection of absentee ballots to relatives or caregivers and will allow the state to throw out any ballot cast in the wrong precinct. Because of the Supreme Court decision, opposing these types of voter suppression laws under the Voting Rights Act will be way more challenging. These tactics are a continuation of a long legacy of efforts to silence us at the polls. Let's expose the structurally racist roots of voting laws and how they have impacted Latinos. As far back as 1909, the Arizona Territory enacted a law that made speaking English a prerequisite to register to vote and run for office. Today, Arizona's constitution still has a provision that requires people seeking elected office to, quote, read, write, speak, and understand the English language sufficiently well. Reports of Latino voter intimidation were common in Texas and California in the 1970s because the Voting Rights Act of 1965 initially excluded Latinos. In California, an official said that if the Spanish people do not speak English, they should be kicked back into Mexico and not be allowed to come back. It wasn't until MALDE fought to expand the VRA in 1975 to include language minorities that the state of Texas translated legislative documents into Spanish. As of 2016, 8 million Latino voters lived in jurisdictions freed from voting laws oversight from the federal government. In fact, in the same year, half of the states with the highest Latino population growth passed voter suppression laws. And let's not forget that while Puerto Rican residents are U.S. citizens, they cannot vote in presidential elections. That's more than 3 million Latinos who do not have the right to vote. We must urge Congress to pass the For the People Act, which will restore protections of the Voting Rights Act, among other provisions to strengthen our democracy. If we truly want this government to be for the people, by the people, and of the people, then our right to vote must be protected. For the first time in history, more than half of eligible Latinos voted in the 2020 election. Over 18 million of us showed up at the polls, meaning that 1 in 10 voters was Latinx. Our community has fought hard to ensure we are part of the political process, and we won't give up now.